Laurel and Hardy, good clean family content. But once in a while they'll drop something in there that's just like, and this is a perfect example of it. You catch the last line of this story about a travelling salesman, and both Oliver's wife, Stanley's wife, are like, she gets up, slap. Of course, Mrs. Him gets Oliver, and you just think to yourself, you know what? I'd love to know what that story was about. Hey, welcome back to the channel. We're going to continue on with the Laurel and Hardy box set reviews, and in this episode we're doing Come Clean, which is a 1931 short film, and it continues the theme of blackmail. Now, this is by far one of my favourite short films from Laurel and Hardy. We open up and Oliver and his wife, they're finishing off dinner, having a nice evening. They're excited to have an evening to themselves and not be bothered by the Laurels. So of course that's not going to happen. Stanley and the wife turn up at the door. Oliver and the wife decide they're going to pretend they're not there. They like check the peephole, see it's them. Stanley decides he's going to leave a note before they leave. He slides it underneath the door. And then he notices, obviously, Oliver's on the other side of the door because the note gets pulled through. So Stanley starts ringing the bell again. Oliver panics, slides a note back out again. So eventually they have to let them in. And out of politeness, Oliver's wife offers to give him dessert. Do you want some dessert? You've missed dinner. Would you like something to eat for dessert with us? And Stanley, he wants ice cream. Ollie, straight away, barks at him. We don't have any ice cream. Stanley barks back, you could always get some ice cream. Now this simple choice to go out and get some ice cream is just the beginning of a heck of a lot of trouble in this film. There's a brilliant little sequence before they leave where Stan and Ollie are on either side of a kitchen door. It swings both ways. Stan, trying to enter the kitchen, knocks Ollie in the face with it. They end up slamming each other back and forth, and I'm spitting all over the place. Sorry about that, guys. In a typical situation in their crazy world, after they leave the apartment, they get to the elevator that has adjoining doors. Same elevator. From the outside we can see the light of the elevators going down. You can close the door, lights go down. Then one comes back up. Ollie comes out, sees Stan isn't there, goes back in. His light goes down. Stanley comes back up. He comes out, sees Ollie's not there. You know, it's just a brilliant slapstick moment. One you have to see. So when they get to the ice cream shop, the owner tells him what flavours of ice cream he has. Stan starts ordering flavours he doesn't have. I know that doesn't sound funny, but by the way the actors play the scene, that's brilliant. Exactly why I say you've got to watch these films for yourself. So outside Oliver's apartment building, Mae Bush, a regular on Laurel and Hardy films, plays a suicidal woman, or so it seems, that's about to jump into the river to end things. Stan and Ollie, always wanting to do the right thing, rush to help her, but just as she jumps, Ollie's nervous to get jumped in to save her, so Stanley pushes him. So instead of him hitting the water, he falls right through the rowboat. Brilliant. That shot alone makes this entire film worth watching. As I said at the start, this is one of my favourite films out of all of them, but that one shot in particular of Oliver falling down instead of hitting the water straight through the rowboat. Brilliant. Definitely, you need to go and even look that clip up online. So, Oliver's in the water. Stanley manages to pull the girl out at a small dock. Now Ollie, he's shouting for help. Stanley throws a rope to Ollie. He wraps it around himself to get pulled in. But Stanley, trying to throw out the life preserver ring, sees that it's been held back by something metal. He untangles the metal object, throws it into the water, but it's actually an anchor attached to the rope. Oliver disappears under the water. They're actual real life cartoon characters. Plain and simple. Eventually Oliver surfaces. Stanley asks, where were you? So the girl, who's just regained consciousness, and she isn't happy. She's been saved. She says, now you've saved me, you can look after me. Ollie politely says, sorry, but we've got a couple of wives at home. But she threatens to start screaming, and that she'll tell the whole world that Stan and Ollie actually pushed her under the water and tried to murder her. So there's a brilliant little sequence where they try to get away from her and she's chasing them. And again we end up with the double doored elevators, which causes more confusion for them. The doorman in the apartment building calls the police. Meanwhile, the girls track Stan and Ollie down to Ollie's apartment. Ollie asks her to leave them alone, and she tells him she might for the right money. Ollie decides to do the best thing and come clean, tell the wives about what's happened here. But Ollie, too scared to do it, tells Stanley to tell him. Stanley, also scared of the wives, won't do it. The girl says they're bluffing, which makes Ollie get up the nerve to actually go and talk to the wives, leaving Stanley in the hallway with her. But when Ollie gets into the apartment, loses all his nerve, can't tell him what's happening. Stanley panics because his wife's calling out for him, and he pushes the girl into another room, which turns out to be another doorway into Oliver's bedroom. More trouble on the horizon. There's an incredibly funny sequence with Stanley and Ollie trying their hardest to cover up the fact there's another woman in the apartment, making herself at home, getting into Ollie's wife's nightgown, turning on the radio, making noise. Brilliantly acted. Ollie finally gets rid of the girl after sending Stanley to distract the wives. We cut to Stanley finishing a story to distract the wives about a travelling salesman, which has obviously been that offensive that Oliver's wife actually gets up to slap him in the face, but Oliver walks in and ends up getting hit. It's one of these things that in these films where they want to push a boundary, but they don't want to be offensive. Like Laurel and Hardy, good clean family content, but once in a while they'll drop something in there that's just like, and this is a perfect example of it. You catch the last line of this story about a travelling salesman, and both Oliver's wife, Stanley's wife, are like, she gets up, slap, of course misses him, gets Oliver, and you just think to yourself, you know what, I'd love to know what that story was about. So, right, back to the movie. We're in the lobby, cut to the lobby. The police have turned up, as the doorman has recognised the woman when she entered the building. She comes out of the elevator after Ollie's got rid of her by giving her money and a wife's coat and whatnot. She sees the police, immediately runs back to Oliver's apartment. Things go from bad to worse as the wives see the woman and Stan and Ollie try to get her out again. The police arrest the woman, and they ask, who brought her in to the hotel or to the apartment block. Ollie, still afraid of the wife, blames everything on Stan. It was him that brought her in. The policeman turns around, tells Stanley to accompany him to the police station. There's $1,000 reward waiting for you. Now, there's a brilliant end to this film with Stanley in a bathtub. Now, that is all I'm going to say about the closing part of this film. That's one thing you're going to have to go and look up for yourself. It is brilliant. It's just, as I said before, they're real life cartoon characters, and these films really do need to be watched to be fully appreciated. So definitely go and check out this film. For a rock and roll rating, for Come Clean, I'm going to give it a top of the range. Awesome, because that's just what this film is. It's brilliant from beginning to end. It's only about 20 minutes long, but it only feels like it's about 5 to 10 minutes. It's just that good.